Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know, I've seen a lot of cheap PTZ cameras out there that cut corners, grainy footage, laggy controls, and menus buried so deep you need a treasure map to find them. But today I'm talking about the Burdog Eyes P100, a 1080p full NDI PTZ camera that actually feels like it belongs in a professional setup without the 5-figure price tag. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What really stands out with the P100 is how easy it is to get a clean, reliable signal into your switcher or NDI network. Most budget cameras force you to mess around with HDMI to NDI converters that add latency or drop frames when your Wi-Fi hiccups. The P100 skips all that. It's got native NDI, HX and NDI, HX3 right out of the box, so you just plug it into your network and you're live. I set one up in our small church sanctuary last weekend and ran it straight into OBS on a laptop without touching a single converter. The latency was basically non-existent, and the color matched the other cameras perfectly, which is huge when you're trying to keep things looking consistent on screen. Another thing that surprised me was the optical zoom. A lot of PTZs in this price range give you a digital zoom that turns your image into a blurry mess after 2x. The P100 has a genuine 10x optical zoom with a fast f/1.6 lens, so you can actually read the hymnal text from the back pew without losing detail. I used it for a live-streamed Bible study where the speaker moved around a lot, and the autofocus kept locking on without hunting. That kind of reliability saves you from awkward on-air moments when you're trying to adjust focus mid-sentence. SDI support is a nice bonus if you're still running older switchers or need a rock-solid cable run. I ran the P100 out to a Blackmagic ATEM Mini Extreme over SDI at 30 meters without a single dropout, and the signal stayed stable even when someone walked between the camera and the subject. That kind of cable resilience is gold if you're setting up in a venue where Wi-Fi isn't an option or you just want zero interference. The remote control is where this camera really shines. The Burdog app on Windows or Mac OS gives you a proper PTZ controller interface with joystick, preset buttons, and even iris control. I've used pricier cameras that don't feel this responsive. You can save up to 256 presets, so you can frame your wide shot, tight shot, and lectern shot in advance and recall them with one click during the service. I mapped the camera to a Stream Deck, and now switching angles is as easy as tapping a button. No fumbling with a mouse or a clunky web interface. Audio integration is straightforward too. The P100 has a 3.5mm audio input so you can run a lav mic or a mixer straight into the camera and embed it into the NDI stream. I plugged in a Shure BLX wireless lav for our worship leader, and the audio stayed synced perfectly with the video all service long. No extra cables running back to the mixer, no sync drift, just clean, embedded audio that's ready for your NDI workflow. Build quality feels solid for the price. The die-cast aluminum body and all-metal lens ring give it a heft that cheaper plastic cameras just don't have. I've knocked it around a bit during setup, and it hasn't budged on the tripod mount. The only real downside I've noticed is the fan can get a little audible if you're in a quiet room and the camera's been running for a while. It's not loud, but if you're recording a podcast or a quiet interview, you might want to keep it a few feet away from the mic. Also, the power supply is external, so you'll need an extra outlet or a power strip, but that's pretty standard for professional gear. All in all, the Burdog Eyes P100 is the kind of camera that makes you forget you're using a budget model. It nails the basics: clean NDI output, reliable autofocus, smooth zoom, and rock-solid presets, without the headaches you get from cheaper alternatives. If you're running a live stream, a small church, a classroom, or even a corporate event, this camera gives you the features pros expect without the sticker shock. So if you're tired of fighting with converters and laggy controls, give the P100 a look. You'll find the link below so you can check the current price and specs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.